Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks' best country, 105.1 The Bull. It's time for Around the Ozarks News, sponsored by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Advanced Car Care, Smouse Brothers, and United Plumbing. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Howdy, howdy. Good morning to you on Tuesday. Hope your Monday was fantastic, but even if it wasn't, it's over, and we're moving on. We're going to start you out with some news on this Tuesday.
All right. A man was hospitalized and 4 people taken into custody after a big fight at Fast Night Park Sunday evening. Not a good situation. Police officers say they found a victim suffering from assault injuries when they got there, and young people. A 21-year-old was jailed on an assault charge. 3 juveniles were arrested, and a 4th was released to a guardian. Officers used a taser during one of the struggles and then deployed pepper spray after a big crowd gathered around police before they all eventually dispersed. Whew. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is asking for the public's help in solving a case from 1985, a cold case of William Bill Sundermeyer of Rolla. Sundermeyer, Sundermeyer. Somebody knows something. The 68-year-old man was last seen in early June of 85. His body found days later in rural Dent County. Investigators say the case remains suspicious, and his family is coming forward right now with a reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Anyone who has that information is asked to call the Highway Patrol. Ask for the Division of Drug and Crime Control.
Yeah, that's interesting because you wonder what happened, what tip came in or what lead came in that led them to go public with a case that's 41 years old now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Something had to happen to jar it in their minds.
Yeah. And drug and crime control. That's interesting too. Like, what were the circumstances surrounding that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hope they can get something, because that's a long time for a family to carry that weight.
Yes, absolutely.
This happened. The son of Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Eric Bieniemy is charged after authorities say he shot his mother multiple times at the family's home in Virginia. 57-year-old Mia Bieniemy suffered multiple gunshot wounds, but was listed at last check in stable condition. 27-year-old Elijah, their son, is being held now without bond on several felony charges of shooting his mother. The Chiefs say they are obviously aware of the incident. They're asking now for privacy for the family as the investigation continues. That's awful.
Yes.
In Springfield, a former Springfield certified public accountant will serve federal prison time for embezzling money from a family trust. 63-year-old Ray Marple was sentenced to 18 years in prison after admitting to stealing more than $415,000 while serving as executor of the trust. Federal prosecutors say he also filed false tax returns over a 3-year period. Marple was ordered to repay more than $501,000 to the victim and to the IRS.
Okay. Here's a story. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers has announced it will begin offering medication abortions at the Springfield Clinic for the very first time. The expansion follows a June court ruling that struck down several abortion regulations that Missouri once had. That issue, of course, still a major topic, and voters will decide some new statewide abortion-related ballot measures later this year, which is always sure to drive people to the polls on both sides of the issue. Now to this, a Springfield teacher is one of 31 educators, only 31 across the entire nation, who were selected for C-SPAN's Summer Educators Conference in Washington, D.C. Haley Youngblood, who teaches social studies at Central High School, is attending a 3-day program to learn some new ways to use C-SPAN's free classroom resources. Participants were chosen through a competitive national application process. And I am excited for Haley Youngblood. Congrats to her, because I'm guessing that she is going to learn how to make C-SPAN exciting for students. That, my friend, is going to be quite the charge.
That would be tough to do, I think. I was thinking when you were reading that story, I thought, man, I could think back to when I was in school. And if there were a time when a teacher said, hey, class, guess what? We're going to watch TV today. That would have been the greatest day of my educational life until I found out it was C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what? Why don't you just talk to us?
It's so interesting because this is apparently a big deal. And so she's going to learn how to make it exciting. We had to take, I don't think that they even do this anymore at the university level. If somebody out there can correct me, please do. But we had to take current event quizzes as a news major every single class period. So I've watched plenty of C-SPAN because they would ask questions from newscasts the night before, whether it was local, state, national, political, and it puts you on the spot. You got to know your stuff every day coming into class. And I don't think they do those anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't think C-SPAN is the place to go for answers. C-SPAN is just raw government at work.
Right. But they would purposefully do that sometimes to ask you a question about who was, speaking yesterday. Like, we had all these different sources that we were supposed to be regularly checking in on. Wow. And it was, hard to watch.
That sounds awful. You could spend 8 hours sitting in front of C-SPAN and you're never going to get that time back.
And not pick up much.
Just a lot of politicians talking is what it is.
Did you guys have current event quizzes?
No, not very often, but we would have them. Our teacher would bring in, our professor in college would for news would bring in stories about that are done right. Stories that are told well.
Right.
Or about important topics.
One of my favorite things to do was we would have to find 10 mistakes per newspaper. So pick up a newspaper and cover to cover, circle 10 grammatical errors. And now I love copy editing. I'm not the best at it anymore, but there was a season of my life which I loved to do it. But now that I'm writing a book, I realize I forgot the rule on that. I have to look it up because I forgot the rule on it. It's I know that I don't know anymore.
Right.
That's half the battle.
And some of the things do change. So you got to check up on them.
Yeah.
But now you could probably find stuff pretty easily because AI is writing a lot of the content on publications.
Yeah.
Although
I don't know if AI though necessarily has all the grammar right. Maybe it does. Does it? I don't know.
Well, they're supposed to have copy editors going back over it before it gets published, but they're busy.
Yeah. Well, if you look at some of the sites, it'll say published by AI or written by AI. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
AI was used in the reporting of the story.
Right.
But humans went over and made sure everything was right. And that's what it'll say.
Does it say that?
It does say that. Yeah, most of the time.
That's good to know.
Drury University says private donors contributed more than $14.5 million during the 2026 fiscal year. That total includes gifts, endowments, planned donations that will help fund scholarships, academic programs, and student success initiatives at Drury. The university credits strong support from alumni and, of course, the O'Reilly-Wooten Matching Challenge for much of this year's success. Drury is now entering the final year of its Fortifying the Future fundraiser campaign. And by all accounts, it's going well.
Yeah, they got a good name for it. That's for sure.
They do. Yeah. Tomorrow, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe will bring his State of the State message to Springfield to a sold-out Chamber of Commerce event. It's going to be held at the MSU Great Southern Bank Arena. The doors open at 11 a.m., but again, it's sold out. Governor Kehoe expected to discuss the state's economy, workforce development, infrastructure, and his other priorities. that he actually first outlined during his January State of the State address in Jefferson City. So when I actually did a bit of a double take. I was like, wait a minute. He's going to do the State of the State in Springfield? He did that in January. Then I looked, and this is like an updated version that he takes on the road. He's taking a show on the road.
Okay, so I just asked, speaking of robots, I just asked the robot if he also did that in Branson, because I thought he did, and he did. He's already done it in Branson, also on July 14th at the Grandview Conference Center at Big Cedar Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. It's like on the road right now.
He's traveling around playing the greatest hits. Good for him.
It says editor's note. This is the robot editing himself. This is the editor's note from the robot. He says his official constitutional State of the State address to the state legislature is delivered in the state capital city of Jefferson City, not Branson, Missouri.
That's correct. That is true. I think it was January 14th.
Yeah. That was it. Okay. Okay. Now to this world-renowned animal scientist and autism advocate, Dr. Temple Grandin, is coming to Nixa. He will visit next spring. He's going to be speaking on April 22nd at the Ato Center for the Performing Arts at Nixa High School.
It's
Tickets are $35. She will be speaking for $35. Public ticket sales start on Wednesday morning. She's known for her work in livestock handling, autism education, and some best-selling books.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her, but I know she had like an HBO movie, as you said. Did you say that? No, I was reading about her yesterday.
Yeah.
There's an HBO movie about her, so she's an interesting character, and it's weird to me that she is animal scientist and autism expert.
Okay, I'm looking her up right now. It's so much. It's interesting how much maybe we could learn about. Do you think? Like, I don't know. Makes me wonder if she's like parallels between earth science, animal science, and autism. Who knows? I don't know. Hold on. Earth Day. Isn't that on Earth Day? April 22nd? Yeah, it is. It's a Wednesday. Just so you know, it's a Wednesday, April 22nd. That is Earth Day also. I knew the date was familiar and I was wondering why. So check it out. You can get tickets again starting tomorrow morning. Dr. Temple Grandin. If you want to look her up, you can at the Ato Center. All right. Finally, this. If you are looking for a job, there is a big event this Thursday, day after tomorrow in Ozark. The Missouri Job Center, Christian County Library, and OTC, Ozarks Tech. They are hosting that event from 10 to 1 at OTC's Richwood Valley campus. More than 24 employers are going to be there to take part and hiring people. So make sure that you look the part, dress the part, act the part, bring your resume, and get ready for a new job.
There you go. You'll be all set right after that.
10 to 1 on Thursday in Ozark. So that'll be a good event.
All right. Well, speaking of that, we got to get to our other jobs.
JOBs?
Yep. We got to go do it.
Let's do it.
Have a great day. And we will see you back here tomorrow.
See ya.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine, Whole Hog Cafe, Taylor Grubauer Chevrolet, and Godfather's Pizza. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thanks for joining me here on this beautiful Tuesday. It is July 28th, and this is what some would call the dog days of summer. We have incredible heat that's been in place across the Ozarks. Yesterday, of course, we had those extreme heat warnings with heat index values reported around 115 across the Ozarks. Today, it's a heat advisory across the region, so it is just a scorcher out there for sure. And even though it maybe is going to be a degree or two cooler in a few places in terms of the heat index, it's still a hot day and it's still dangerous to be outside in this type of summer weather. We have high temperatures near 99 degrees for the afternoon highs today. Once again, heat index values will be anywhere from 100 to 110 degrees. There's a heat advisory pretty much for the entire area and only a small chance for some isolated activity with that afternoon thunderstorm development. Isolated thunderstorms are possible each afternoon this week, but it's going to be the exception rather than the rule. There's not going to be a whole lot of widespread rainfall here to speak of over the next couple of days. High temperatures are going to drop to near 90 degrees as we head into the late parts of the week and remain a bit cooler for the weekend. However, it's going to take a couple days to get there. So we're still extremely hot today with heat advisories blanketed for the entire region. I think we could hold on to some of those heat headlines into Wednesday as temps still look to me to get into the mid and upper 90s. We get a bit of relief maybe on Thursday, but it's a little interesting that I'm calling Thursday relief because high temps will still be near 90 degrees. We just drop to near 90 and kind of stay with typical summer temperatures for the end of the work week into the weekend. Stay safe in this intense summer heat wave. This is not something to mess around with. So even heading to the pool or doing activities where you can cool off, they can be dangerous if you don't take proper precautions. Please make sure you're staying hydrated, drink plenty of water, take breaks in the air conditioning, and find some shade if you absolutely have to be outdoors. The rain chance out there today, it's only about a 20% opportunity, so not everyone will see the rainfall today. The lucky few will get some rain, and that will definitely help to cool you down for a brief window. By the time we get to Wednesday, we're talking high temperatures that are still in the low to mid 90s. And then it's not until Thursday that we see a more significant drop with a better rain chance, about a 50% chance for rain on Thursday with high temperatures near 90 degrees. We're going to stay close to that as we head into Friday with, once again, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s to round out the work week forecast. Around the country, well, heat is a big headline across the nation with record-setting temperatures, not just for us here in the Ozarks, but also around much of the Mississippi Valley and much of the southern tier of the country. Some areas of Florida are seeing the hottest heat wave of summer so far as well. We've got a risk of severe thunderstorms and flooding spreading from the Ohio Valley into the Northeast today, while dangerous heat takes the headlines for pretty much the southern half of the United States. The Four Corners region and the High Plains are continuing to see monsoonal rain showers, so that is also going to be one of the national news weather headlines in the next coming days. All right, it's time for that Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. And the question yesterday was this: what type of weather is hotter than the surface of the sun? The options were A, a wildfire, B, lightning, C, firenado, or D, a Death Valley summer. And if you took a guess at this one and you guessed B, lightning, that would be correct. It is indeed hotter than the surface of the sun. One of the reasons lightning is so deadly, and summertime is often when people see the most lightning strikes in some of these isolated thunderstorms because they're outside doing activities like golf or, yard work, farm work. And that's when we see the most lightning strikes. So do be cautious, but congrats if your guess was B, lightning. Here's the next hot trivia question for you. Where in Death Valley was the record-breaking 134.1 degrees Fahrenheit actually measured? Do you know the location? Do you think it was A, in Badwater Basin, B, Furnace Creek, C, Devil's Golf Course, or D, Zabriskie Point? You can let me know your guess. That's at the website. It's aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks for listening on this Tuesday morning. Stay cool today. I'll be back to talk with you first thing tomorrow morning.